Orlando Wallace, Actually Helping. Now I'm going to see what HIRE Minneasota is. It's an organization that hires people of color and less fortunate people to do city projects, you know. So HIRE Minneasota, HIRE from Minnesota, HIRE Minnesota. And this is going to be Laotian Family Community of Minnesota, Incorporated. Here in St. Paul, we're about to go in here. Actually Helping, actuallyhelping.org is the website you want to go to if you want to help kids off the street and you just want some information of examples of how you can help your community. You have to go to community events, ladies and gentlemen. You want to get involved with your community after you get off work, you have to go to community events. All right, and there's going to be some food in here too, so let's go in. Food. Egg rolls.
These are veggie. Okay.
Rice.
I know.
And noodles with cashew and chicken. I'm about to eat and then enjoy the festivities, get some knowledge about the community, and see what happens. Actually Helping.
Thank you, and welcome to Lao Family. And as always, Lao Family is part of the community, and we're glad that we could be part of the HIRE Minnesota. And our doors open 24 hours a day, and we welcome you here. And also, I talk to my community, the Hmong Lao and the Southeast Asian community. So far, Mr. Nimon and I, the only two, but back home, we have thousands of that are behind the HIRE Minnesota, and I would like to thank you for letting the Asian community be part of the HIRE Minnesota. And tonight, particularly, thank you to our family.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to tell you our mission, how we advance our mission, and then I'll briefly cover our campaign over the next year. So HIRE Minnesota is working to ensure that public investments in infrastructure and renewable energy do three things: lift people out of poverty, reduce racial disparities, and contribute to healthier communities for us all. So we advance this mission through a variety of strategies. We do community engagement, we do direct actions, we're good at agitation, we do legislative advocacy, we do negotiations with stakeholders, and we do active monitoring of public infrastructure projects like CCLRT. So our campaign for the next year is this. We've been holding the Minnesota Department of Transportation accountable. They have hiring goals for people of color and women, but they've failed to achieve these goals over the last 18 years. So we've been holding their feet to the fire. We've made some gains. We're paying attention to the Central Corridor Light Rail Transit Development, CCLRT, which will cut down University Avenue right here. We're paying attention to trying to pay attention to the number of jobs that will be created, the kinds of jobs that will be created, and when they'll be available. We're pushing the Met Council to meet these hiring goals, and we are going to hold the contractors accountable if they fail. In the next legislative session, which Jeff Bauer will expound on, we're looking into some options into a major jobs bill that we anticipate working on, and we want to ensure that they include language about hiring equity and green jobs. We're also exploring the possibility of another bonding equity bill. And finally, we are interested in green jobs, so we're going to form a Green Jobs Roundtable, which will explore the landscape of existing and emerging green jobs opportunities. We're going to try to develop some strategies to create access to these jobs to the people that we represent. And we're going to create a platform so that HIRE Minnesota can effectively champion this issue going forward. So at this point, I would like to call Mr. Lewis King. He's the founder of HIRE Minnesota, and he's going to give you an update on the MnDOT campaign.
Good news, we are making progress with MnDOT in terms of increasing hiring people of color and women. Bad news is not enough and not fast enough, all right? And as far as we're concerned, until we get there, it'll never be enough fast enough. But here's the news. When the economy went bad, they let go of about 700 people. 700 workers basically lost their jobs because the economy went down. In the last year, about half of the total workforce came back. The people that we were interested in terms of minorities, people of color, and women, 85 of those positions left when the economy went bad. 79 of them, or 92%, came back. And that's what I heard about it, what is it? Pressure bust a pipe. Everybody heard that before? Putting pressure on people in the legislative halls, around negotiations table, as well as direct action. The work that you did. It doesn't take a lot of us, as we found out, but a lot of work from a few people. So we were able to move the minority participation from 6.1 to 7.5. 7.5? Right. Females, okay, well, when times were good, minorities were at 6.1. When times were bad, they stayed at 6.1. When times started to come back, they went to 7.5. You get me? Yeah. All right. Females. When times were good, females were at 3.9. Females dropped to 3.3, and they're back to 3.9. The female goal is 6. The minority goal is 11. All right? So we got back to parity to where we were before with the females. We're going to need a lot of help pushing at the future. We're going to put some major emphasis on it. And with minorities, there was a small gain. All right? But more importantly, we learned what it took to make progress. That when to apply pressure, when to negotiate, when to get the elected officials involved, how to keep our friends engaged, and we gain credibility. No one dismisses us as a bunch of crazies who kind of show up for the cameras and then go away. We're in it for the long haul. We could not do that without friends and without continuous supporters. As my good friend Long Yang says, at my core, I'm a soldier. And no military action, no action occurs without allies. And you're continuously trying to win the hearts and minds of the other guy, okay, so that we can stop being antagonistic. And you're continuously trying to grow your own ranks with friends. And what we discovered is that white guys can be down for social equity also. All right? That means, like, you know, there are some good white guys out there. And we can't dismiss them. Okay? And so we found, too, that that's a great secret weapon undercover. Who would ever expect white guys to show up fighting on our behalf, unless you look at the Civil War, abolitionists, and freedom riders. They've always been there. And so they always want to divide us. So that's one of the basic premises that we have here. We're going back to the future. We use Twitter, Facebook, and all that stuff to really use some old-fashioned organizing tactics across racial, age, sex, any type of boundaries, because we're taking on very powerful forces. But I thought that it would be appropriate tonight to share with you an action by a group that call themselves White Guys for Social Justice, White Guys for Racial Equity. What was it? Racial Equity. 100 White Guys for Racial Equity. And in this day and time, I think that is cause for a moment of pause, reflection, and acknowledgement. And I would say that first, before you see it, I want to thank all the people that stepped up to do that. Go back and tell them it's okay to be a white guy, and it's okay to be a white guy for social equity. Fire it up.
Very interesting turn of events as far as organizing goes. The first time I've ever saw people calling at one time their congressman or their district person issuing a problem. Very good idea. This is also a good tool that everybody can use to get involved with their community and make sure that the congressmen and the people that run your district are held to their accountability and to their word. I repeat, this is a very good tool. Everybody in there is calling at one time. Very nice, very nicely done.
I will recommend the CCLRT hiring goals for women and for people of color are not being met. This is a huge issue for me, and I want to thank you for taking leadership to address this problem. I do live in Minneapolis, but I'm hoping woman to woman you will carry this concern to your constituency. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Oh, my contact information is Katie G. Olson.
So in addition to taking on equity on CCLRT and fighting MnDOT for equity and all the other things that we do, we also, and it's hard to believe, have another legislative session coming up very soon after this crazy election ends. So I'm going to give you a brief nutshell version of what that's going to look like. The first certainty is there is no certainty as to what our legislature is going to look like starting in this session. And so by all accounts, there will be quite a bit of turnover, especially in the House. The last number I heard is that a quarter to a third of the House could turn over between retirements and contested elections and things like that. I can't promise anything, but I think it's very unlikely that the DFL loses either the House or the Senate, but the margins are going to be like this. The other thing that will happen is that a lot of the committee chairs will be new and a lot of the committee members will be new from what we know. And so the district in which you sit right now is going to have an amazing new representative. I can't say too much about that, but she will be an ally.
The Minnesota state government works. So if people want to learn how a bill becomes a law, this is the place to be. Join us. And we're going to teach people how to lobby. So if you know someone who would be very interested in learning about public policy at the state level, refer them here. If you are the one, fill out this form, just contact me. We're going to do this in December before the session starts, and we're looking for a minimum of 10 to 12 people who are committed to working with us throughout the session, showing up at hearings, speaking to legislators, and helping to mobilize people to fill up the hearing rooms and help get our bill passed, get our language included in the job security. So if you're interested, fill it out and contact me. At this point, we want to do a little Q&A. So I'm thinking it might be best, we're going to do a Q&A in a second. We'd like to form a circle. Would everyone be comfortable doing that? Would most of you?
Very good meeting. Orlando Wallace, actually helping. I'm about to leave up out of here now. I'm going to thank the person that let us hold the event here from Minnesota HIRE. The Laotian community is very good to the African American community and other communities as well. Very good. Actuallyhelping.org. I'm about to might ride my bike around the city tonight and make sure the community is safe. It's kind of cold, but hey, I'm in Minnesota, so check out my next video. Actuallyhelping.org is the website. You can find me on Facebook, Orlando Wallace. You can find me on Facebook, Orlando Wallace. Find me on Twitter, Actually Helping, and YouTube, of course, Actually Helping. Yes.